Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own internal voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Steve Jobs. All right, ladies, today is day 5 of Live Alive. So I'm sharing the audio with you here on the podcast, and I have to laugh hysterically because not only in the middle do I start with a random accent, but I also was on this really good train of thought and completely forgot what I was talking about. Today was an example of showing up anyways. I woke up this morning and my monthly lady gift arrived and it knocked me on my ass. And I knew it was just going to be one of those days, but I showed up anyways. I showed up for you because I made a commitment and I am a human of integrity and I did it anyways. So I always say progress, not perfection. I hope you laugh and you might get a little frustrated because I was on a good train of thought, but I do leave you with some wisdom bombs today. I also wanted to remind you that this Monday, September 28th, we are opening the doors for the Courageous Rewrite program. So the 2 takeaways for the Courageous Rewrite are going to be helping you craft your next level vision, the courageous version of yourself, of becoming the woman that you most desire to be in the world. We're spending a few hours on a Thursday and a Friday together live, helping you craft that out, and then using the strategy of energetic time management to reverse engineer how you want to feel. And then together we're going to be 4 additional weeks to rinse and repeat, consistently implementing the work together, helping you bust through the blocks and the resistance with the accountability and community and inspire you along the way. You are not meant to do this work alone. So if you want more details on the Courageous Rewrite, head on over to heatherchauvin.com/register and check it out. If you text me at 313-710-5199, text the word FIRE, because we're lighting this shit on fire. So text the word FIRE or a little fire emoji, and you are going to be on the list. And on Monday, for 24 hours only, we are gifting you $500 off. So that is a 25% discount, Monday only, and you have to be on that list to take advantage of that. So 313-710-5199. See you on the inside. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it, everyone. So welcome to day 5 of Live Alive. And that was not intentional to rhyme, but it does. And it's been a week. It's been a full week. And I'm really, really excited to have this conversation. So today, what I'm going to be doing is talking about recap. I've been recapping a little bit every day, the common questions that I'm getting. And then I'm also going to talk about a little bit about how we get in our own way. And also, like, what's your next step, right? I think too often we gather this information. We're like, oh, great, that was awesome. Like, here's a little shift. But we got to dig deeper, and there's a lot that gets in the way around living alive. So I've been getting a lot of text messages from everyone, sending me personal messages, asking questions, having follow-up questions, and I've been responding to those. So if you have any questions for me about the last 4 days, about the Courageous Rewrite program that I'm going to be discussing in a few minutes, you can text me 313-710. I don't know if I could put it in here. I feel like I'm not going to touch anything, so I'm afraid I'm going to do something with it. So 313-710-5199. It is an American phone number. 313-710-5199. Ask me almost about anything. I may not respond if you ask me inappropriate questions, but who knows? Maybe I will respond. Sometimes I have a funny answer. So, lots of aha moments. Everyone inside the Facebook group is posting your aha moments and getting a lot of DMs on Instagram as well. Living alive, I will tell you the number one kind of question about that is confusion around how do you know when you are alive? And the interesting part about that is some people were asking questions and then at the end they would put, I think I answered my own question. And I think the difficulty is sometimes we don't, when it's not a yes or no answer or black or white and there is no kind of right way, it's very subjective and very personal. We're often seeking an answer that's within us. And it's not about, getting that external validation. It's about trusting ourselves and going, this is what's right for me. And that is kind of the whole essence of living alive. So live alive, here's my lunch, living alive to me is about living on purpose. Everyone always asks, like, what does it mean to live on purpose? And I want to find my purpose. And I'm going to tell you a personal story about this. So for growing up for a really, really long time, I always felt like I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a sense of purpose on this earth. And in the personal development industry, they do a really, really good job of selling purpose. And what I mean by that is you can go online and they'll say, find your purpose, market your purpose, make $1 million and figure it out in, 6 weeks or whatever bullshit they're going to sell you. And honestly, one of the basic human needs is to be seen, heard, and understood. But when you are living with a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, or living on purpose, that is very much contributed to happiness, to health, to, all the stuff. But I often find that where humans get tripped up is that these words are interchangeable. So intentional living, mindful living, living on purpose is really about alignment. Like, to me, it's about alignment. So back in the day, I was like, what's my life purpose? What am I supposed to do? What's the work that I'm supposed to be doing? And again, it was all coming from an external validation, like an external, like, tell me, right? Because we buy into these cultural expectations of who we need to be. Go get educated, go get the job, go climb the ladder, go have a family, go have children, and do whatever else everyone tells you to do. And then you're sitting there going, not this, not this, not this, not this. Or you don't do those things. Like, you don't get educated, you don't get that job, you don't want to have children, you're not in a partnership. And you're like, what's wrong with me? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. We bought into this cultural expectation of who you need to be. And so then you think there's something wrong with you. So for me, it's not about finding anything or finding the perfect job or finding the perfect business to start or having the perfect relationships. It's truly about living on purpose, living in alignment, living with intention. And so what feels good for me is going to be very different for what feels good for someone else, because we have different life experiences, different personalities, different families, different lifestyles, different wants, needs, and desires. And it is a concoction of all of that. And my truth is that when you can teach somebody to feel empowered, when you can teach somebody to blaze their own path, there's no codependency, and you are guiding that person back to themselves. And so oftentimes when I'm working with women and we're going back and forth and we're doing the digging work and she says one thing and I'm like, guiding her to these breadcrumbs, her destination is very different than where she thought she was going, because that destination feels better. That destination is more in alignment. And the truth is when you are following your heart, when you are following your gut, when you are following your desires, like whatever word you want to use, whatever belief systems you have, when you're following God, when you're listening to the universe, when you're like listening to those voices, those sparks, like whatever it is, you are being directed in alignment with how you want to feel. And the better you feel, the more good comes to you. So for me, forever, I was searching. I invested in myself. Huge believer in this, investing in yourself. And what I mean is doing the work. I'm a lifelong learner, love personal development. And I kept asking this question, and I just found that the more fulfilled I became, the less I kept saying, what is my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? Because I could be sitting on my front porch, drinking a cup of tea, messy hair, nothing planned for the day. And I feel like I'm living my purpose. And I feel like I'm in alignment. And I truly believe that if we're being of service to other people in any capacity, doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as it feels good and it's in alignment, you're living on purpose. You are living in your purpose. You are living with intention, right? And you also get to create your own definition of this. You get to create your own story. And that's the whole part of the courageous rewrite. So for those of you who are saying, I don't know what I want, I don't know what I desire, I have to ask you to keep digging, because nobody is going to be able to answer that for you. And we've been taught that somebody else has the answer for us. So you have to keep digging, and then you have to have the courage to go after the breadcrumbs. So that is the big answer to the question that I've been receiving about how do you know when you feel alive? You know when you know when you know. And we all have moments of misalignment. We all have moments of contraction. We all have moments of contrast. That is also part of life. There is the sunlight, there is the darkness, there's the rain and storms, there's, whatever, you get it. There's the winter, there's the summer. We have the yin and the yang. We need that in our emotional state as well. So when you begin to realize that you are nature, you are a natural being, and that we need both. We don't need to live in a chronic state of contrast of like, this is shit, this is overwhelming, this is a struggle. That doesn't need to be 90% of your time, right? And it also is not going to be kitty cats and rainbows all the time. So when we can begin to use the contrast to say, what is this telling me? What's going on here? This isn't what I want. What's the desire here? Then you can step into that. So I'm going to read you a little piece. The darkness in the limelight. This is on my manuscript. No idea what chapter it is, no idea what page it will become. Western society has a distorted view of success. We talk about stepping into the limelight as if it's some magical gift. It comes with the pulses for sure. But for most everyone I know, who's felt its light has logged a lot of hours getting there. That was true for me too. As I put in my own sweat and tears, however, I was realizing that the work wasn't the hard part. The true challenge of becoming more visible, of realizing my dreams and succeeding at higher levels was feeling I deserved any of the applause, attention, or success. As my client base and social media followers grew, more people began to express their desires to be like me and to achieve a similar level of success. I was grateful for all of it, but also struggling with my own new reality. Higher levels of success and visibility also translate into more activity and abundance, but also more work and more attention, only some of which is positive. The more I challenged myself, the more I was surrounded by people even more successful than I was. The more followers I got, the more feedback I received. When I achieved a big business goal, I'd find myself surrounded by industry leaders who'd achieve a lot more than I had and in less time. When I spoke on social media about a struggle I was having with my body, I'd get comments about the new mindfulness or eating regimen I should be doing.
No matter what I did or how much of myself I gave, none of it ever felt good enough. None of this was happening for negative reasons or specifically to hurt me. But when you harbor deep feelings of shame, even love taps, that's what I call them, love taps sometimes hurt. That applies to my podcast too, even as my followers grew by leaps and bounds. Unable to control my potty mouth, I'd sometimes drop F-bombs and get very mixed reactions. Unable to control, sometimes mothers would email me, I love your message, but you would make a bigger impact if you'd stop swearing. This is inappropriate for a parenting podcast. Like clockwork, I get emails from mothers who'd say that my F-bombs were when they knew I was their girl. Becoming who I wanted to be. What became so clear as I grew and got more feedback was that I only wanted success if I could achieve it on my own terms. That means sounding like a trucker sometimes, even if some people felt that was inappropriate. It also meant being my unscripted self and being more vulnerable online and in my podcast, in spite of the fact that sharing more of myself was leaving me more open to judgment. Criticism stung at times, yes, but little by little, I realized that I could get over these hurt feelings. I could recover from those little love taps and still stay true to the only person I ever wanted to be, myself. The question I began to face was, how did I feel about her? All right. So, living alive, courageous rewrite is about being yourself. Being yourself. And I truly believe that our high level thinking, right? High level meaning very unconscious pain points, unconscious challenges in modern society. Whether it is in our relationships, in, how do I get my children to do this? This online learning is overwhelming. This pandemic is terrifying. These are real worries, right? There's a lot going on. But we have to dig deeper. We have to ask ourselves some very uncomfortable questions. Am I living in alignment, or am I living out of fear, or am I living from a place of guilt? And realizing that if you allow those big emotions to control your life and you do not push through them, you do not look at them, you refuse to look at them in the mirror, it doesn't matter. It does not matter how many planners you have and your perfect time management strategy. It does not matter, what school your children are in or how clean your house is. It does not matter at what degree you're perfect in certain aspects of your life. When you realize perfection is coming from a place of fear of judgment, you're living from a place of fear. And if you're living from a place of fear, you're ultimately living from a place of lack. And if you're living from a place of lack, you are going to attract more of that. So when we are putting that out into the world, we are attracting more of it. Some questions that I also receive from people are about partnership. So whether you live with a partner or you're co-parenting with somebody, I often get this question around, I was going to put on my glasses and not here. I often get this question around, what if my partner is not on board with this? Or what if, I start to put up boundaries and I start to take a stand for how I want to feel, and there's pushback from them. And I'm like, I get it, right? But if a toddler is running towards the road and you put up a boundary that you're not going to allow them to run on the road, so you push back, right? You're like, you grab them to save their life, right? To have healthy boundaries. What's the child going to do? Most likely they're going to have an epic tantrum. Their big emotions are going to come up. So if there's big emotions inside of them, it's going to come up and out. It's inevitable, right? You're filling the cup. you stop it, you've triggered them, it's going to come up. So whatever, there's a saying of like, you're holding a cup. I think it's like cup of coffee. Like someone's holding a cup. I'm just butchering this, by the way. Someone's holding a cup of coffee. You walk by, you nudge them by accident. What falls out? And they're like, a cup of coffee. And they're like, yes, coffee, because there was coffee in the cup. So whatever's inside of that person is going to come out when you nudge them and you trigger them. And that's what boundaries do. So if somebody gets really angry by your boundary, or they get resentful, or they get, there's pushback, that's because there was resentment inside of them already. There was anger inside of them already. A child is angry because they have that. We all have the array of emotions inside of us, but we're so uncomfortable with human emotion, and we think anger is bad, and we don't know how to see it as a language. So therefore we avoid it. So then we avoid taking care of ourselves to please other people, to keep them comfortable, so that their anger can just stay stuffed inside of them too. And then everyone just walks around all clogged up with their emotions, not knowing how to express them. And then eventually relationships implode. And this happens in parenting. This happens in partnerships. This happens in businesses. This happens everywhere. So the Courageous Rewrite, which is the 5-week program that I am launching, and it starts Monday. It does not start Monday. The cart opens on Monday. And if you decide you want to join, you can go to, right now, you can actually check it out. You can go to heatherchauvin.com/register. So Heather, my name.com. No, Heather Chauvin, last name spelled CHAUVIN.com/register for the Courageous Rewrite. And there's a button there. And if you click on the button and you're looking at it on your phone, it will pop up in your messenger, I think. And if you text me the fire emoji or the word fire, you will be put on the list for Monday. So Monday, we are gifting $500 off for the Courageous Rewrite. So 25% off. And that's Monday only. So that's the fast action bonus. I love women who shit or get off the pot. What I mean by that is we can overthink everything. We can allow fear to run the show, guilt to run the show. So think about it all weekend. If you want to join, get on that list. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to get on that list, and register on Monday. And all the details are there. If you have personal questions about the Courageous Rewrite, you can text me as well. Same number, 313-710-5199. You can put a message inside this Facebook group and tag me. You also have mentors in the group. If you know who your mentor is, you can reach out to them, or just post that you have a question and your mentor will reach out to you. What else? What else did I want to say about that? I'm going to talk about what the Courageous Rewrite is in a second. But really living in alignment, living from, tapping into that more is a courageous act. And I never knew this. People have always asked me like, oh my gosh, you're so brave. You're so courageous. Like, I'm not a courage expert. I'm not a brave expert. I didn't want to die. And when I'm saying that, I'm not talking about my cancer journey. There were so many aspects of my life previous, like 10, 15 years before I was diagnosed, that it was like these little seeds were being planted in my life. The universe was saying to me, God, universe, source, whatever, wake up, Heather, wake up, Heather. And I was like, no. Like, I just really did not know how to own my truth, own my power, and jump into that. So I just kept living by default. And what I mean by default is I just kept living by the expectations of other people. I kept living in fear, kept living from a place of guilt, because I did not know how to manage that. And we're not really taught. It's a spiritual practice. It's an intuitive process. It's personal development. I mean, you're not taught personal development in schools. They're just starting to implement mindfulness into schools and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is it's been around for 20, 30 years. I'm not sure the exact date and research, but it is still such a new concept to people. And, a lot of people ask me like, how do you want your children to remember you? And I'm like, if I can teach my children one skill very well, like, yeah, we got to teach them all these life skills and they got to cook and clean and know how to pay their taxes and get good grades and whatever. I want my children to have emotional intelligence skills, because I truly believe if you have self-awareness skills and you are able to manage your own emotions, you can succeed at anything in life. It doesn't matter, what degree you got your education from or how much money your parents made. If you can't navigate your inner world, you are just going to drown. And I believe that parenting, especially motherhood, is a leadership position. And most women do not identify as leaders. And it drives me nuts because, when I say it drives me nuts, I used to be that woman who didn't identify as a leader and didn't understand it either. So parenting to me is one of the world's most needed. It happens. Every human has a set of parents or somebody who took care of them. It is the most valuable leadership position and most undervalued. And we all know this, women's work is undervalued. But think about the impact of a parent, right? Think about the impact of that. And not realizing that we have influence as women. We have influence on how we show up in our lives, on every single person. Someone else asked me about negativity. So I kind of talked about, when other people are not on board with our personal development and we trigger them, you have to be able to handle that pushback, but negativity as well. So I would identify as a sensitive person. You could, humans love to identify things. So you could consider me a highly sensitive person, even though my personality type, you may think I'm not. I'm wildly introverted. So online, I may not be perceived as that, but in my personal life, I could probably live in a hole and I would be okay with that. And I don't really need a lot of human contact, but I love my little people. Oh gosh, I'm so weird. Anyways, why did I say that? Oh heck, why did I say that? Totally lost my train of thought. All right, I got to get it back. It's coming. I have no idea. I'm going to start somewhere else. It's Friday. I totally lost that train of thought. No idea where I was going there. So I'm just going to start somewhere else. Let's try. Maybe I was here. Being courageous. No, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I have lost my fucking mind. I've lost it. I'm losing it. I feel like I need another cue. What was I going to say? I don't know. I'm going to start on a different topic. I just completely, boom, lost it, left my brain. It was gone. I'm going to talk about integration. Somebody asked me about integration the other day, and she said, can you please explain what integration is? This time, I think it's going to come back. I can feel that thought coming back. This is about integrating your new self into the process. Okay. So you have figured out, wow, I'm really, really coming back at this one. You have figured out, okay, I'm done feeling like shit. I want more in my life. I understand that it's going to be uncomfortable. I understand that it's a courageous act to step into the person that I want to become. Oh yes, I was talking about leadership. To step into the person that I want to become. But now that you're there, these things are going to come up as you go and as you grow. And there's an integrated process. So there's different levels of learning, right? A lot of you have been sending me messages saying, thank you so much. This was amazing. I got amazing aha moments and mind blown, radical thinking. And I'm like, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that information? How are you going to integrate that into your life? And then they would say, I have no idea. And I believe in something, and I heard this saying one time, I was like, yes, 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 called spiritual entertainment. We love, especially if you're into personal development, it is very easy to read the books, listen to the podcasts, attend the workshops, and think you know the information. Like intellectually, you're smart, you know this, but you're not actually doing the work. Integration is where the magic happens. I always say action is where the magic happens. So you can read and it gives you step-by-step 1, 2, 3, 4. If you never even start with 1, 2, 3, 4, you're never going to understand the integration process. And that is what the Courageous Rewrite is all about. Because when you begin to integrate into your life, that is where all your blocks come up. That's where all the mindset comes up and the resistance. Every time, like we know what we want or we know what we don't want, right? So we can figure out what we want. Like that's step one. So to sit here and to leap into the version of you that you want to be, you got to think about it. Then you got to invest and commit to the process. And then you have to be able to integrate the process. And I have never been able to successfully integrate anything by myself. Let me repeat that for all of you in the back that are assuming that I just wake up in the morning and everything is perfect. I have never successfully integrated anything by myself. I did not put together this experience by myself. I have a team. I collaborated with people. I learned a lot. I didn't just wake up and go, oh my gosh, I'm just going to execute. Boom, 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 boom. I stayed in my area of genius, delegated the rest, and made shit happen. I do not parent my children by myself. And I don't even mean with my husband. I mean, when I'm challenged with behavior, what do? I consult a professional. I didn't pretend to know how to cure myself of cancer. What did I do? Integrated the learning and the education that I invested in. I invested in myself to become the woman that I needed to become to step into that. When you do that, the second you say yes to that opportunity, the universe is like, she's ready. Let's go. Let's part clouds. But let's also give her a little roadblock to see if she's really ready. A lot of the mental energy that holds us back, the fear of failure, the guilt, the shame, the overwhelm, if you do not understand how to process that, you will always be stuck, which is why integration and community is key. So going back to my random thought a little while ago, where my brain just went bloop, when I was talking about leadership. We're sitting here in 2020, and I'm Canadian, so I'm going to talk as a Canadian, not an American, observing the world and what is going on within it. We have two options. We can sit back and complain, which is not going to get you very far. Or you can get angry and do something about it. You can get pissed off and do something about it. Because if every single human showed up to make a difference, make an impact, collectively, change happens. So how am I going to make an impact if I'm sitting in my pool of guilt, sitting in my pool of shame, my pool of fear, my pool of overwhelm, and choosing to just say, I don't know what to do next. I have no idea. I can't. How do you actually make an impact by doing that? How? How is that showing up as a leader? But showing up and saying, I don't know. I'm not sure I know the next step, but you know what? I think this may be the next step. So therefore I'm going to take it. We'll see what happens. I may fail. That's okay. I'm not going to give up. I think I screwed up on how I responded to my child's behavior. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to start again. Dang, my time management has been off the charts this week. You know what? That's okay. I'm going to start again. I'm going to implement these tools. I'm going to implement these strategies. I'm going to start again. Dang, something doesn't feel in alignment, but I'm going to look at it instead of avoid it. I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to integrate. I'm going to face my fear. I'm going to face my guilt. I'm just going to feel it. Wow, that's uncomfortable. Contraction, contraction, contraction. Nothing grows without discomfort. Nothing. Little flowers don't burst through the seeds. Babies don't birth through the canal or the womb or wherever they come from. I don't know, a little stork that brings them to your front door. All change is uncomfortable. You're rewiring your brain. It's nature. It's nature. It's natural. So now when I'm resisting something, but yet my desire is in alignment with that resistance, guess what? Guess what? Ooh, goodness is happening. Goodness is happening. So that is the answer on integration. Time management. Allow it to be messy. Allow it to be messy. Go back to day 4. I talked about the process. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So 1 degree better every day. That's all I'm going to say. 1 degree better every day. All right. I've been talking for 45 minutes. Now I'm going to shift the conversation to talking about the courageous rewrite. So for those of you who are interested, I want you to head on over to heatherchauvin.com/register. All the way down. Go all the way down to the bottom. There's some frequently asked questions there. Get on the list for Monday when the doors open, and you will get $500 off. We are also offering a scholarship. So if for some reason finances are an issue for you, there's just read in the FAQs and follow through with that. If you have any questions at all, text me 313-710-5199. We're going to have a little jingle after. 313-710-5199. Text me. Here's the thing. It takes courage to be yourself. It is a courageous act to become the woman that you were born to be. The world needs you to shine. The world needs you to show up. You are a leader. I don't care if you have children or not. You are a leader. You are the leader of your home. You are the leader of we call the planet Mother Earth. We nurture. But for some reason, we've been trapped in this cycle that nurturing ourselves is selfish. And I say, screw that, and ditch self-sacrifice and give yourself permission to live. Give yourself permission to feel alive. Because I am living proof that health and vitality and making an impact and influence in my children and how they grow up as humans and the people that I serve and just every single human that I come into contact with, I have different impact on because of how I live my life and how I think. You can have money as a single mom. You could be a breadwinner and not burn out. You could be a working mom and not burn out. You could be a stay-at-home mom and have a sense of purpose beyond your children and still have time for yourself. There are so many things that we've been conditioned to believe. So the Courageous Rewrite is a 5-week program. This is something that I have not offered previously. And I'm going to pour into you. And how this is going to happen is there's 2 days. There's a Thursday and a Friday. So head on over to the website, heatherchauvin.com/register. You're going to see all the days there. So the first week, we're spending Thursday and Friday together. We're spending a few hours together. It's live, so I'm going to be there. There's a process that I'm going to bring you through, a step-by-step process. We're going slow so I can answer your questions, because for me, this is about you leaving with the clarity. Step one, you leave with the clarity of that vision. What does every aspect of your life look like and feel like? And then on the Friday, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, step-by-step of energetic time management. And this energetic time management process is really about you taking your vision, breaking it down, getting super clear on the highest leverage action. And if you're like, I have no idea what that is, that's why you sign up. We do the work. And then you have 4 weeks of integration. Remember when I talked about the listening and reading versus doing? I'm all about the doing. I'm all about take action, make shit happen. So probably within the first week or two, you're going to start feeling differently. I hear this a lot from my clients. They're like, Heather, I feel so different. And I'm like, yes, I know. And they're like, well, what? Why? I struggled with this for years and years and years. How come so quickly things are changing? I'm like, it's because we're doing the work. We're not just talking about doing the work. And this isn't about finding a diagnosis or talking about the problem. I'm focused. Wow, I don't know what that accent was. I'm focused on who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? Let's step into that. Let's stop effing talking about the shit that's not working and let's problem solve. I'm always about solution focused. I'm a growth mindset type person, because the second you start taking action, that's when all your shit's going to come up. And that's why you have 4 weeks of integration. Because when the shit comes up, I expect it to. And that's why you enter into a community, because we're going to hold you. We're going to help you. You're going to have the community support to say, hey, is this normal? Hey, any feedback or suggestions? Hey, what's worked for you? So after 5 weeks, things should be shifting for you. You're going to manifest more time. You're going to manifest more energy. Your mind is going to feel better. And when your mind feels better, guess what happens? Your relationships improve because you react differently. And when your relationships improve, you're clicking back in alignment. So I want you to think, what would more time give you? What would more energy give you? What would more money give you? Believe it or not, people go through this process and they also find ways to make more money, to save more money, to manifest more money. I've seen it again and again and again. And every single time I do it, up level, it's magic. And yet it's common sense, but it's not the way, it's not so common. You know that saying? Common sense is not so common, apparently. So that is the courageous rewrite. I want you to think about this. If you 30 years from now, however old you're going to be, 30 years from now, looking back, if nothing changes, where will you be? From 30 years from now. And I don't just mean, oh, well, the kids will be out of the house, my life will change. Nope, you're going to find another reason not to do the work. 10 years from now. 10 years from now, if nothing changes, where are you going to be? Give yourself permission to think about what is going to happen if things keep going the way that they are. A year from now, if nothing changes, where will you be? Where will you be? Courageously show up for yourself. And if you cannot show up for you, show up for somebody else. Rewrite your story. Because when you rewrite your story, you rewrite the story for so many other women out there who maybe are not where you are and don't have the opportunity or the courage to do that. And I'm not raising any girls in my house anyways. But I look at my boys and I ask myself, how do I want them to perceive women? And then I show up as that woman. How do I want them to perceive women? Women can be strong. They can be soft. They can work and they can rest. They can cook and clean, and they can also delegate. We can be whoever the fuck we want to be. If you practice integration. If you are open to receiving the support that you need in order to birth that version of you that's inside of you that is desperately trying to get your attention. Okay. So this weekend, this is Friday, I'm recording this on the Friday. I have some surprises for you. I'm going to be pulling some things out of the hat. And as I do that, pay attention. You can, like I said, you can text me the little fire emoji, and I will also notify you when on Monday when that comes out. And questions, send that to me, 313-710-5199. Any questions goes directly to me. If you know who your mentor is, reach out to your mentor. Stay engaged in the Facebook group. There's going to be some pop-ups. It is so easy to get in our own way. It is so easy to say, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. It's easy to use excuses to play small. But if you are open, if you're open to saying, you know what, I can't see through the forest. I can't see through my block. I can't see on the other side. This fog is too thick. I'm too far down the rabbit hole. I just can't see. That is when it is time to receive. Show me the way. Show me the way. I surrender. And ask. Ask. When I can't see something, I literally say, I'm blocked. I can't see. Show me what I can't see. And then somebody will say, this is like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what your mentors are here for. So if you're inside the Facebook group, reach out to them if you know who they are. If not, say, I have a question. And somebody, if you want to connect, they'll reach out. And that's what I'm here for. So if you're like, Heather, I'm so stuck. I want to join this opportunity. I just don't see possibility. Let's brainstorm possibility for you. It blows my mind what is possible when you say, I'm open. I'm curious. So go into your weekend that way too. Like, ooh, shit hits the fan. I'm curious how we could have changed things up. I'm curious why this happened. Curiosity is a beautiful gift. It opens you up to possibility. So thank you. And I look forward to connecting. Either way, have a beautiful weekend. And that's it. Bye, guys.